beat 'em ups. Number 1. There we have it, fire! Guys, I'm back. And this is Beat 'em Up Part 7 of this gen. And we're going to start with my number 1 on today's video with Battletoads by the Lala Game. This is the return to the arcade classic, the NES classic by Rare. And obviously this is a completely different art style and approach, but with the same aesthetic and feel. The game animation is spectacular and superb. And I'm very happy to say that it was very well received, even though it was getting bad flack, rather. And people were saying that we weren't happy with the art direction. But the game plays extremely well, very fast paced, very physics are very clean and crisp, which is very, mechanics are very smooth. It has all the comedy that you could expect from the Battletoads. It respects the material big time. It has all types of different types of gameplay mechanics, from shoot 'em ups to on rail to vehicle riding to one-on-one fighting, a bunch of stuff. Inclusively, you look at the cinematics as the story's told, in each cinematic in between levels and stages, they have quick time events that you do, and you control them to tell and play out the story, which is very, very awesome. And the game doesn't take itself seriously whatsoever. They even make fun of the game taking so long to come out after all these years. Best thing, it's an exclusive for the Xbox One. It is very attractive, gives you a reason to pick it up. I highly recommend it, and it's not that expensive. Number 2. And coming in at my number 2, here we have is Asterix and Publix Double XL Part 3. That's right, this is the third one in the series. And as you can see, this one took a much different approach. It has a more open world feel with different cities and towns, and each of those cities and towns are basically your levels, and you do different objectives each one. Now, this one is also 2-player co-op. It is local and I believe co-op online as well. And it has an isometric camera, kind of like Diablo Smash TVs, but it works well. It's not too shabby, and it's not too far and distant the way that, let's say, a Smash TVs would feel like, right? The game was a little overpriced when it came out, but since then they have put it on sale, so it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot of fun. Microids also had announced that very soon the first game that was out on 360 and PS3 respectively, that never made it to the States, it was only in Europe, is coming out sometime next year. So that's a good thing. So you have the whole series on one console. I don't know how much different it is from 2 and 3. I'll yet to find out until I buy it, but everyone remembers these characters from the cartoons from back in the day and the old Konami beat 'em up, which I wish they had it here to be unlocked, to be honest. But it's fun. It's all out fun and in a beat 'em up style with a different approach of open world and areas on it. The HUD. So even has some RPG elements. So if you're interested, I would recommend it. I think you'll have a good time, and I think you won't regret it. Number 3. And here we go, peoples. Number 3 is the brand new release, The 9 Monkeys of the Shaolin. Harkening back to the traditional old school style karate films from the 80s, 70s, and 60s, where they used to have that dubbing in English and the lip sync never matched. This is just a very fun throwback with the style and aesthetic of those old classic movies. The gameplay is really responsive and really fluid. It is in 2D side-scrolling beat 'em up with 3D style backdrops and graphics. even though it plays in 2D. So this one has a really deep story from what I can gather so far. It looks like it has a very big and robust level up system because it's in categories and it was pretty big, and each one is pretty extensive. Will go up and levels pretty high. And you know, you got boss battles like your traditional beat 'em up. You got missions that you go on, and a lot of story. This also can be played online and locally cooperatively, which is a very big plus, especially with most beat 'em up games of today. Even Streets of Rage 4 does not support co-op online to this point. So far I'm having a lot of fun. I haven't finished it. It was a gift to me from one of my boys, and I really appreciate it for my birthday. It is reasonably priced, in my opinion, even though it is $30 because it's a newcomer, and they deserve to be, you know, helped and supported. So I highly recommend it, and you should definitely check it out.
Number 4.
And coming in at my number 4 is one that's very close to my heart. It's none other than Transformers Devastation. It is a beat 'em up in its true essence. It's an action game. It has shooting. It has platforming. It has flying moments, QTEs, vehicle moment segments. It has it all. But it's mainly and primarily a 3D beat 'em up. And it is by none other than Platinum Games. And the combat system in the game is absolutely spectacular. It's a lot of fun. If you're a Transformers fan, it is absolute nostalgia to the highest form. It is probably the best Transformer game next to Fall of Cybertron and War of Cybertron. But this one hits more at home for G1 fans, Generation 1. As you can see graphically, it's exactly like the cartoons came to life in video game form. It's absolutely stunning. It looks really, really nice. This video or these images really don't do the game justice, especially of how well it plays. Has a nice array of different characters that you pick, you play as you belong, and it also plays like an open world map with different levels, HUDs, and smaller elements of level-based areas. It's very cheap. You can get it physical. You can also get it digitally. And it's also available on PlayStation and I believe Nintendo Switch. I'm not really sure about Nintendo, but I know PlayStation 4 for sure. So I highly recommend it. It's going to be back via the Xbox Series X. And if you're a Transformer fan, it's no brainer.
Number 5.
And coming in at my number 5, you guys will be surprised, but it's the Amazing Spider-Man 2. And to be honest with you, this is a beat 'em up. This came out early in the generation. It's still listed now because of the Sony rights. And in many ways, this game does so much more better and more than the Amazing Spider-Man or Spider-Man PS4 on the PlayStation 4. It doesn't really hold your hand. You have more control of what you do. And it feels more true to the essence of the Spider-Man in the comic books and not something made up that feels more like part of the MCU, like Spider-Man PS4. The gameplay is a lot more robust and complex, and it's just a lot of fun. You can't get it anyway unless you find it physical, and it is high in price because of the fact that it was delisted. So I do recommend it because it's a lot of fun, and if you're a Spider-Man fan, it's a no-brainer. So go out and check it out.
Mi sala is closed.